Hello guys, what's up and welcome to the new tutorial from the SketchUpArchStudio. In this tutorial we will talk about Enscape lighting interior design at night. So this is the environment that we have in here. It's the simple TV room or living room, and you can see the roof tile and floor in here. So I want to show how we can create some super realistic render at night and how we can manage our lights in different type of positions and situations. Let's get to work. First of all, I'm going to close the Enscape in here, maximize the Enscape in this place, and I want to press Ctrl S on my keyboard, save this file, and start my lighting. The point is that I create some edges inside of my wall, and you can see it in here. If I click on the materials in SketchUp and click on the sample paint or color picker, when I pick it up, linear number 9 is selected for me, and in the Enscape material editor I can change it to the self-illuminated texture. So I can do the same action and job for the roof lights like that, but for these lights in here I want to add some spotlight for better quality in lighting. And about the TV room, I have some hidden lights at the back side of this TV room. I don't know you can see it or not. You can download this file below this video and you can search and explore inside of it by yourself, but these pink colors are the hidden lights. So all of them will be converted to the self-illuminated textures in Enscape material library. But before I do this job, I want to add my spotlights. So I'm going to click on the Enscape objects in here and click on the spotlight in this place. I want some spotlights from upside to downside. So look at how I can draw it. First click, second click, third click, and final click. Like that. Your spotlight created for you. Now you can click on the load IES profile in here. Click on the IES lights. And I want to pick up number 5 because I think number 5 model is the soft IES profile and really suitable for my project. Click on it, click on the open, increase the luminous intensity to some number about 20 and close it. Click on the move option and move it to this place. Some place like this one. Alright, now you need to take some multiple copies. Try to do this job. Select all of them, and before you continue your copy process, click on one of these colors. For example, I want to select, for example, fire brick. Don't worry about the color, you can adjust them, all of them at the final. Click on the move option and take your last copy in these dimensions. Like that. So your lighting is done for you, and now you only need to open the Enscape and start your rendering. I'm going to click on the Ctrl S on my keyboard and click on the Start Enscape. The point is that I have some exterior lights and I want to match them with my interior lighting. In different type of architectural projects, when you want to design your interior project, you need to adjust GI light, skylight, artificial light, and spotlights. So all of them are really important and make your render really realistic. So try to pay attention to these part of my tutorial because I will talk about some important and valuable points. First of all, I'm going to explore outside, and you can see we have some lights in the outside. So these lights can be really effective in the inside lights. So I'm going to press F, click on the interior number 1 in here and close it. First of all, I want to turn on the 2-point perspective. Click on the save frame and click on the visual setting and increase my rendering quality to the high mode. It helps me to manage my lights and exterior light much better. Close this option in here, press F on your keyboard, click on the edit camera interior number 1. Like that. And now if you scroll to the downside, if I hold shift and right click, I can change the time of the day completely near to the night. For example, 10:30 p.m. So my altitude is about negative 67.6, and I can change the azimuth for better GI calculation. For example, some random number, 194 degree. Click on the save option in here, interior number 1, and I'm going to minimize Enscape at the right side, SketchUp in the left side, and start my rendering. You can see some shadows in here, and if I move my camera, you can see what's really happened. Exterior lights effective on your interior lights. So I'm going to press F, interior number 1, and now I want to adjust all of these lights. Click on the Enscape material editor in here, move it a little bit to this place, like that. Zoom on your wall, click on the sample paint, and pick this line color in here. You can see this line inside of your wall. So it's selected for me in the SketchUp paint bucket and detected for me in Enscape material editor. First of all, change the color of it to the white. Come to the downside, turn off the roughness, click on the type of it, and change it from generic to the self-illumination or self-illuminated. And now you can see some beautiful hidden light inside of your wall. So this process helps you to create some mesmerizing interior renders. First of all, after doing this job, time for the next light. Click on the sample paint again and click on this line light in here, tomato number 16. Don't worry about the name of it, it's not really important. Move this Enscape material editor in here, change the color to the white, click on the type and self-illuminate. You can see what really happened. So all of them can affect your environment very professional, and it helps you to manage your lights in your interior render. So next item, which is really valuable for me, is about TV. So click on the sample paint, move slightly your camera in SketchUp, pick this pale violet red in your environment, click on the Enscape material editor, move it in here, and click on the self-illuminate again. If I go a little bit near to my target, I can see some shadows and fadings in the back side of my wall, and I think it's really interesting. So press F, come back to your interior number 1, and now time for magic. So I'm going to click on one of these lights in here, fire brick, click on the Enscape objects. So all of them are the same components. So if I increase the luminance intensity, look at these part of your job. I'm going to go a little bit near to it. You can see some red power lines in your lighting, and I think it's really professional. So click on the set value and set it manually. For example, 800 candela is enough for now. So click on the sample paint, pick this fire brick in here, and in the SketchUp paint bucket setting, if I change these parameters, you can see I can change the color of my lighting. So it's really interesting. Try to use some warm colors, because in the realistic renders, it can be really helpful for you. So click on the select tool, sample paint again, pick this plaster in here, select your roof, and add it on your roof, like that. Everything is fine. Click on the interior number 1 again, and now I want to manage all of these lights very simple and easy. First of all, click on the visual setting in here, and I work in the 2-window projection because my work is heavy. If you use 2 type of monitors or displays, you can set one of them for the SketchUp and another one for the amateur render. So field of view can be decreased a little bit, something like that. For example, maybe 63 is enough. And after that, I'm going to increase the exposure as I can to some number about 56%. Turn on the depth of field, turn off the autofocus, and now play with the focal point to reach to your best distance for the lighting. Something like that can be acceptable. 5.24 is enough. And look at the lights, what happened. When I increase the depth of field, all of them will be get blurred and faded out. So try to hold this on the normal number. For example, 12% is really good for this job. Increase the rendering quality to the ultra mode if your system compatible with it. Click on the image bar, try to use auto contrast. Play with the saturation to create some warm rendering environment, especially at nights. And if you want to have some warm render, you need to reduce color temperature. In this image and render, if I increase color temperature, it will completely destroy and not likely. So I try to reduce it as I can. For example, 5000 candela or Kelvina is enough. Motion blur is not really important. I will reduce the bloom to the 4, lens flare to the 22, vignette is about 50, chromatic aberration is 0, and in the atmosphere I want to turn off the sun brightness and increase the night sky brightness. It's not effective right now, but it can be effective at the final render because it can make your total environment more brighter than the other times. 200% for the night sky. Shadow sharpness is 0 because we completely use some soft lights for our interior job. Artificial light brightness related to all of these spotlights. If I increase it right now, you can see what really happened, and your screen will be get more brighter. Your render will be get more sharper. So I will reset it in here because I have some works with it. 66% is enough. The skybox is not really important and output is good. So come back to the texturizing and self-illuminated setting. Click on the sample paint. Pick this line color in here. Click on the Enscape material editor. Pick it up another time. Alright, if I increase the luminance power of these line lights, as you can see, when I increase it, what will happen? I can see the effect of it in my job, very clean and absolute. So 11,000 candela is the high value number, and you can see the reflection of it on your floor in these areas. So try to manage it with some warm colors. First of all, click on the color, and I want to change it to the pink, and this one to the pink too. For example, something like that. And you can see the changes very clean and absolute or obvious. So try to use some warm colors. For example, in this scene, I think some color like wheat is not bad. And for the texture color, you can use Najwa white. These two colors will be mixed with each other, and you can create some mesmerizing scenes in your job. I want to change it to the 4400 candela in here. Next item which is really valuable for me is the backlight of this TV. So click on the pale violet red in here. Change the color of it to some color like maybe yellow, but I can't find my exact color. So click on the advanced setting in here and change the RGB colors to this part of your job and manage it like that. And now it's much better. Change it to the 4400 candela. Click on the color. Ctrl C. Take a copy of this code in here. Click on the color below the self-illumination setting. Advance. Ctrl V and press enter. Now you have some obvious color about your job. So next item which is really important for me is the roof lights. So click on the sample paint, pick this line light in here, and I don't want to change the color of it to the yellow because the screen is warm enough. Only I want to increase the power of it, for example 6000 Kelvina, and I think it's good. Click on these colors in here, and I think the color of these IES profiles are much important than the other type of textures. So I'm going to select them, click on the colors and change the color of them, and you can see they can change your color tonnage because spotlights are more powerful than the line lights or some other type of lights. So try to use them completely professional. For example, something like that is really artificial and not realistic. So I try to use some white color to add some white balance inside of my render. So I want to use white color for it, close it, select it, Enscape objects, and now I can play with the power of it, as you can see in here. For example, something like that will be burning your screen, and something like this will be get more darker. So I think 3000 candela is enough for now, and I'm going to close it in here. Interior number 1 selected for me, and I want to click on the visual setting, atmosphere, and now I want to adjust artificial light brightness in here. Click on the artificial light brightness, increase it as you want, like that. 144% is enough. Shadow sharpness is about 8. And if I come back to the image bar, I can make this render more warmer than the other times. I think something like that can be good. 4200 Kelvin, and saturation is about 108. I will come back to the texture, so I'm going to click on the Enscape material editor another time. Now I have some work with all of these textures. First of all, I want to select plaster, click here, and I want to increase the normal map of it to see all the details of it. 156% is enough. Image fade is about 94, and click on the texture. You can rotate it to add some type of randomical texture. You can see the textures normal map very clean in your render if you use RTX. So click on the Enscape material editor another time. Select another texture, for example this one, your TV, and absolutely TV's screen have some beautiful reflection. So try to reduce your roughness as you can, and make it a little bit near to the gray, some color like that. So if you can't find it, advanced mode and find it manually. Something like this is not bad. So Metallica can be increased for better reflection, but try to don't use it in the high value because sometimes it can make your render a little bit unrealistic. Next item which is really important is the floors. So click on the floor in here. Wood chevron will be selected for you. Click on the texture size, reduce it to the 1.1. Click on the back option in here, increase the intensity of the normal map to the 134, and now I want to reduce roughness to the 0, or maybe some number like 6, and Metallica is about 6, and Specular is about 78. So now we have more realistic view in here. If you don't like these type of wood chevron for your job, you can click on the wood in here and replace with Enscape materials in this place. Click on the wood option in here and select another type of wood. For example, I think something lighter can be really better for my job. So I try to find out something like wood number 1 brick bond can be good. You can click on the replace option in here and click on the replace. So it's replaced and now you have better render. So try to increase your knowledge about textures because they are really important in your architectural projects and realistic renders. So everything is fine. 2% for the Metallica and 69% for the Specular. My image fade is about 95 and intensity of the normal map is 128%. So next item is the TV bars wood in here. I'm going to click on it, select it in the Enscape material editor, click on the texture and rotate it in the 90 degree, and now we have some better texture of it like that, if you can see it in here. So I'm going to press F, come back to my interior number 1 in here. Everything is fine for now. Reduce your roughness as I can, for example 7.4 or maybe 2.8. Metallica is about 3.8. Specular is about 66.6. Image fade is about 96. And I think now it's much better. So everything is fine for now, and I want to render this job. So I'm going to close it in here. Click on the SketchUp. Save my job, select tool, Enscape, maximize my job, press F, interior number 1, click on the visual setting, and another time I want to play with the focal point to make sure about my focusing process. Maybe something like that can be good. 6.94. I want to focus on this violin and this TV in here. So depth of field is about maybe 11, and it can be enough. Or you can increase to the 7%. Image bar is enough and all the parameters are good. You can increase saturation to the 111. Color temperature can be decreased to the 4100 Kelvin. Lens flare is about 16%. I don't want any type of bloom because I need some sharp render. Vignette can be decreased to the 44. Atmosphere is okay. If I repeat all of these settings is that I want some perfect render. So outline can be increased. You can test it out on the real-time preview. I think some number like 6% is enough. Click on your main job in here. Click on the visual setting, exposure to the 59%, or let me add it to the 60%. And now time for the rendering. So click on the Enscape screenshot in here. Select your desktop. The name of it is about interior TV room render, and press save. As you can see in this tutorial, we created some hyper-realistic render, not super realistic render, hyper-realistic render in Enscape for SketchUp, very simple and easy. And you learned how to light your environment, completely useful in different type of projects. So the main point is that don't pay attention to your exterior lights in most projects because interior lighting are completely separate with the exterior lighting. But try to manage both of them at the same period of time in different type of settings and projects. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If this tutorial useful for you, please like and subscribe our YouTube channel. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. Do not forget SketchUpArchStudio, and goodbye.